And we're still waiting for the fallout for the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots and quarterback Tom Brady after this week's release of the report on Deflategate. Now, the New York Daily News is reporting NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is going to announce some kind of a suspension for Brady next week. But the NFL says no decision has been made just yet. It's a 243-page report that claims Brady was at least generally aware of the inappropriate activities by a couple of Patriots employees who are accused of deflating the footballs to make them easier to catch and throw at the Super Bowl. Now, Brady talked very briefly about this report just on Thursday night.
When do you plan to address this publicly?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. There's still a process that's going forth right now, and I'm involved in that process. So whenever it happens, and I'll certainly want to be very comfortable in how I feel about the statements that I make.
So he didn't say anything, really, but his agent called the report a significant and terrible disappointment. The report's conclusion reads, "It is more than probable than not that McNally and Druskemski, these were the locker room attendants for the Patriots, that they participated in a deliberate effort to release air from Patriots game balls after the balls were tested by the game officials. We believe it is unlikely that an equipment assistant and a locker room attendant would deflate game balls without Brady's knowledge and approval." So, should Brady and/or the Patriots be punished for this? Joining us live to discuss is Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney and avid sports fan. Also with us, Tim Jansen, a sports attorney. Brian, I want to start with you. The language in this report is not definitive. Uses phrases like more than often or more often than not, most likely, more probable. Critics of this report are questioning the credibility here. So you're a lawyer. How strong or conclusive is this report?
Hey, Anna, by the way, thanks for having me back. I want to amend that report to say that it should read that it is conclusive, not more probable than not. These text messages between McNally and the other gentleman, the equipment manager, that clearly proves that Tom Brady knew exactly what was going on with deflating the footballs. So why is Ted Wells trying to be politically correct here? That's the first problem. The second problem here is what a shame in how Tom Brady and the New England Patriots have handled this debacle. Brady should have stepped up and said, look, I made a mistake and I want to fix it and I'm sorry for that. Because the biggest losers, Anna, in all of this are the kids worldwide, the youth that look up to idols like Tom Brady, who now see that it's okay to cheat. And that's why the NFL has to suspend Tom Brady for at least a half a season or a full season. So we can send a message to the kids across the country that if you cheat, you will suffer consequences.
Tim, I see you shaking your head. I want to bring you into the conversation, and let's expand it just a little bit, because as Brian just pointed out, a lot of people are pointing a finger at Tom Brady saying he cheated, but not only is he accused of cheating, but he's also accused of not cooperating with the investigation. A lot of the evidence came from these text messages, from interviews with those two Patriots employees who are believed to be most culpable, but that Tom Brady, he refused to give over his emails. What do you make of all this?
Well, I think a player has a responsibility to cooperate with the investigation. That's a rule. The NFL commissioner can suspend you, and your punishment is dependent on your cooperation. A 6-game suspension is crazy in this case.
Too much, you think?
Way too much. Tom Brady is the ambassador of the NFL. And to say that he tells these equipment managers, yeah, I like the balls inflated lower. You have to remember, there's a range the ball can go above and below. Now, he didn't say below the limits. The fact that he likes that, Tom Brady wasn't in the locker room with a needle before the game deflating them. This report has some genuine conclusions that are based on speculation.
Tom Brady may not have been in the locker room, but according to this report, Tom Brady was giving these guys a special autographed equipment, and there certainly seemed to be good incentive for these two locker room attendants to deflate the balls for Tom Brady.
I agree that the Patriots themselves, including these employees, can be punished and should be punished. The integrity of the game is at jeopardy. And while those balls were missing and they were doing things that the quarterback likes or wants, you can't necessarily say, okay, Tom Brady said, okay, do it. He may like it, And the text messages afterwards may shed some light. Brady probably shouldn't have spoken, or probably certainly shouldn't have texted. But I think he followed the advice of his agent, and that was, wait till you get all the information. When you get the information, the commissioner will take action. And he's in a tough situation because he has now lowered the burden. It's only more probable than not. The burden used to be much higher. So once that penalty, if a penalty comes out, I would imagine that the team will possibly be punished. Those employees will be punished, possibly terminated. And I believe they may lose a draft pick. And I would not see Brady getting anything more than maybe 2-game suspension.
Brian, you know, the NFL, the commissioner, Roger Goodell, have come under a lot of fire in the past year. First, there was the domestic violence issue that came up.
Right.
Then there was, of course, the concussion report that recently came out. And now there's this with the Patriots and the Super Bowl. How much pressure do you think the NFL commissioner is under to come down hard with punishment in this case because of all of these factors that come into play?
Well, Anna, this is a crossroad for Goodell and the NFL, because rumor has it out here that if the NFL was going to set up a store, it would be called Scandals R Us instead of Toys R Us, because they have had so many scandals over the last year and a half with the Bounty Gate. You then had Adrian Peterson, and then you had Ray Rice, and this incident with Tom Brady, Anna, in my opinion, is bigger than football, and that's why Goodell has to step up and impose a greater penalty here, because this is about the moral fiber of our community, about the moral fiber of kids growing up. It's bigger than you and I, Anna. You played sports in college. You know how important it is to live by the rules, and Goodell has to penalize Tom Brady. Make no mistake about it, Anna. This was like a James Bond movie. I mean, McNally had the balls. He ran into the restroom. He had 100 seconds to deflate the footballs. And you mean to tell me that Tom Brady didn't know exactly what he was doing? He did. He gained an unfair advantage. He needs to suffer the consequences.
Last word, Tim?
I think everybody's focusing on Tom Brady, and it shouldn't be on Tom Brady. It should be on the NFL. It should be on the officials who should control those balls. And the fact that if he gained an advantage, every player in sports wants an advantage. Pitchers are always trying to scuffing balls. We had a previous Minnesota game where they were heating the balls with jet engines on the sidelines, and they were told to stop it. Now, because it's Tom Brady and the Patriots, it's blown up. Let's get back to the reality of this.
We don't exactly have a squeaky clean image.
No, the team doesn't, but Tom Brady does, and Tom Brady has been the ambassador for this sport. He's lived by every standard the NFL has ever established.
We'll have to leave it there. Brian Claypool and Tim Jansen, thank you both so much. We appreciate the conversation.
Thanks, Anna.
Still ahead,
Happy
we're going to take